What's up, everybody? Tierra, Brianna, and Rob Ferretti here. Podcast number 8 of the Super Speeders podcast. Tonight's podcast, we are taking a diversion from our usual whistle pig, which is now donning the front of our barrel. And we're drinking the Yamazaki 12. Yamazaki 12, fine beverage. This is sort of a hat tip to Hideki Matsuyama, who just won the Masters, which is a big deal. First Japanese golfer to win the Masters, which is probably the most prestigious golf tournament in the world.
Is that what you were just watching the other day?
That was what I was watching the other day, and he was the first Japanese golfer to win. It was a big deal for Japan, and it was I don't know, it's a cool thing. So to him, nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
I was rooting for Poulter.
Wow. My family is rejoicing.
Car guy, Ian Poulter is a car guy who plays, but the leaderboard got thinned out very quickly. Like a lot of big names got sent home, didn't make the cut at the Masters. Tiger Woods obviously drove off a cliff.
Yeah, I don't think he was there at all.
So he died. Tiger, I honestly think Tiger Woods' golf career is over.
I mean, I don't even know the extent of injuries that he suffered.
They sounded pretty legit for a guy who's been plagued with injuries, and now to have all these injuries,
everything broken. I don't think you can come back.
And he's
as good.
He's getting old. He's getting like in dog years, or at least in sports, like even like Tom Brady was like, wow, Tom Brady just turned 42, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but Brady's getting up there as much as I am like a big Brady fan.
Look at these other guys, these college quarterbacks coming out. Like Brady's been getting his ass pounded for 20 years.
I wouldn't say that, but
he's the target. Everybody's I mean, yes, he's not getting his ass pounded.
I know.
But like he is the target of every single guy on the field is trying to take him out.
Yeah, and like Mahomes just came out of college and he's like so young.
Exactly, and you got these guys that are like 23, and you can't compare like the athleticism of a 40-year-old to a 20-year-old. It just doesn't work.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Brady's pretty in shape.
No, he's in shape, but at the end of the day, like
he'll kick your ass on the field.
Yes, but yeah, you know what? We're gonna call that out. Tom Brady, if you're watching this, I want a piece of you, you and me, on a field somewhere, and we're gonna throw down. I'm gonna prove that there's a good chance that you're probably gonna kick my ass, but I'm gonna give it the old college try. We're about the same age, definitely not the same weight class, but I'm scrappy.
He's taller than you.
Yeah, totally, but I'm scrappy. So a couple of glasses of whiskey, and me and Tom Brady are gonna have at it. You got my.
We can make this happen.
Yeah, when Tom Brady DMs me, then you know what, that'll be pretty fun. It'll be a good YouTube video.
That'll be awesome. We can make it happen.
I got my ass, and the Gronkowskis. Like even if I take down Brady and Gronk comes out of the background, I'm like, I can't take both of you.
Edelman just retired today. Julian Edelman. That was like that was the dream team right there.
Maybe I think the play is to take on Brady in like a drinking contest.
Is that your? Like,
That's my way of saying.
I'm challenging Tom Brady.
We're not in the same weight class. Like or we got to do something. Or golf. The two of us can golf.
Golf.
He's a good golfer.
Okay.
So and I used to be a good golfer. So like I can, if I know I'm lining up against Brady, then we're in.
You might like step it up. All right. Let's make it happen.
There's
ways to make it happen.
It's never going to happen, but it's not like he's doing anything else now. He's like,
what?
Like people always overestimate what celebrities are doing with their free time. You're like, oh, celebrities, totally like just like busy all day, every day.
No.
He's sitting there scratching his balls like anyone else when he wakes up in the morning. Like, what the hell am I going to do today? Like, yes, he's got shit to do once a week, but like the rest of the time, he's like, what the hell am I going to do with myself?
I'm sure he has things to do.
Like what?
I mean,
what does Tom Brady do?
There's plenty of things to do. Like he has a family. Like I don't know.
At what point in time do you forget that, like, you're not the president? Nobody's actually needing you. Like, there's people trying to take advantage of you, but at the end of the day, you get bored of that. Like, Tom Brady, there was that video where they're in the locker room after they just won the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And like, we show Tom, because everyone's cheering and everything. Tom Brady's just getting dressed and going home. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody else is celebrating like they just won the Super Bowl.
Been there, done that.
And this guy's like, yeah, whatever, throw it on the pile. And then he's just going home. Or somewhere. He may be just going out to dinner. He's hungry. He wants to go to Shake Shack or something.
Definitely doesn't want Shake Shack.
No, he definitely doesn't want In-N-Out, but he wants Shake Shack.
I think he doesn't like tomatoes.
Really? Mm-hmm. How do you know that?
I love Tom Brady.
Do you really?
Yeah, I'm a big, even though he switched teams, I'm a big, Boston
So
fan.
if I can make this thing happen, you'll meet Brady.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
That's cool. Brady, she's down. She's like, I like Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's cool. He seems cool.
Yeah, we'll double date. We'll go out. We'll grab your wife.
Sure.
His wife's cool. Speaking of
His
cool,
wife is a supermodel.
she used to be a supermodel.
She was the highest paid model for a long time.
Okay.
Anyways.
Anyway, I am a big fan, speaking of models, and she's not even a model, Jessica Alba.
Okay, go ahead. What? I know nothing of Jessica Alba.
Oh, you're about to know everything. So Honest Company is about to file their IPO.
Okay.
And Honest Company is her company. I don't know. Obviously, she's not sitting in a garage mixing chemicals and coming up with diapers. But they did the George Foreman thing where they stuck her name at the head of the company. And she is quite wealthy. I think they did I forget what it was, like $17 billion in revenue last year or something like that. And the IPO, she's slated to make a good amount of money doing her Honest Company stuff. And I'm looking forward to buying into that. We just bought into, what did we buy into? Compass Realty.
Yes.
You want to say how that went down?
What am I supposed to say? So my real estate brokerage that I work with, Compass, just went public. And we bought into that. And
yeah.
I mean,
look,
it's going.
Stocks are stocks. Like there's a lockup period on the shares that you bought. Mm-hmm. So even at pre-IPO, you got to wait 6 months before you can do anything. So whether they go to $1 million a share or zero doesn't matter. And the only thing that matters is what they're worth when you can ultimately sell them or however long you're going to keep them.
I know.
So that was just another IPO recently. I've been into the IPOs this year. I am a... And this is something like there's advice that I wish I got when I was younger, and there's advice that I now give to people that are younger than me.
Like me.
Like her. And she has more invested at her age than I had up to
yesterday.
Yeah, 10 years ago. So the goal is to invest early, and then just you'll thank yourself later on. You'll thank yourself when you're looking. I don't know how many 30, 40-year-old, just say 40-year-olds. How many 40-year-olds look and be like, cool, I got 25 grand in my bank account. Great. Mm-hmm. That you can blow through 25 grand being out of work for 6 months, 3 months.
No, 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, easy. If you're out of work, you probably should tone the spending down a little bit. But if you're blowing through 12 grand a week, you could do it in a day at a club. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, a lot of people at 40, they got to start shifting their minds to retirement. They're like, well, what are we going to do now? We got 25 grand. Imagine being 40 and being like, oh, I've got $300,000 sitting in an account.
Mm-hmm. Then you feel okay.
You feel much better.
You feel pretty good.
And then you start shifting your focus to investing. And that 300 or 500, whatever it ends up being, turns into $1.5 million, $2 million by the time you're ready to retire. Yeah. I mean, imagine taking money and not even life-changing money, just a couple $100 a month. As you get older, as you make more money, you could start doing a percentage of your income. But at the end of the day, even something minuscule, if you can't put away whatever, $75 a week or $60 a week, I don't know what to tell you. $60 a week, just work an extra shift. Work an extra shift, work an extra day out of the month.
Don't buy that coffee every day.
But I'm not even telling people to change their quality of life. Don't go out and get your Prada belt. And don't go out and pick up an $800 a month lease on a car when you can get one for $300. And take that $500 for 20 years. You've got a very similar quality of life. Yeah, do you have the perforated seats? No. But do you have now $400,000 in an account? Yes. And that's the big difference between everyone who's you're going to go lease the best car you can afford.
That's just America, though. They want you to spend your money. They kind of promote, especially social media promotes how you should be living your life. Well, they want you to spend.
That's the whole thing. The keeping up with the Joneses thing. You can't. It's so hard to have this conversation in my whiskey room.
Come on, it's look around. You see the spa.
And you know what? This is hard work. This is not I didn't.
He didn't sit on his ass.
I didn't sit on my ass to get this, and I built it, and I saved a lot of money by doing it myself. I did this smart, and this is going to be a house I'm going to be in for a long time. And this is not a waste. I don't look at the house. I don't look at a lot of times that I spend money as a waste. I look at it as an investment in that I get my money back. So I don't mind, and I've been this way with cars, right? You could, and I've done the wrong way and I've done the right way. And if you wanted to get into just say, whatever, a new Lamborghini or something like that, it's harder to get into if you just keep buying Corvettes at 50 grand and selling them at 20. You're never going to get that Lamborghini. But say you buy a $50,000 Ferrari for the same 5 years, and instead of selling it for 20, you sell it for 50.
Yeah.
Now you put another 50 grand in. So now instead of selling it for 20, buying it for 50, selling it for 20, now you've got 50 to start with. Now you can go get something that's 100 grand because you're already starting with $50,000 instead of $20,000.
Yeah.
And that snowballs. And the next thing you know, you're driving around a $250,000 car. And it's just, you don't buy into the depreciation. You buy cars smartly. You can, like, my NSX is worth almost triple what I paid for it. My Supra is
ridiculous.
Worth 5 times what I paid for it. And nothing is worth it until it's sold.
Yeah, because you could have them sitting. You'd be like, "Oh, this is worth that much," but you don't have that much. You have the vehicle.
But it's nothing. Like, it's like stocks. Like, oh, my stocks are worth so much. They're not worth anything. There's no gain until you sell it. When you sell it, you've realized the gain. Otherwise, it's just whatever you think it's worth.
Yeah.
But to say that there's a guy sitting there waiting to hand you the cash is a different story. Now, if I sell my cars, I'm confident I can sell them, and I make significantly more than I have into them. But at the end of the day, they weren't the new cars. I didn't buy a brand new NSX. If I bought a brand new NSX for $220,000 when they came out, it would be worth $125,000. I'd be down $100 grand. I bought one for $40,000. I can sell it for $90,000.
Yeah.
And that's like, if it wasn't my car and what's funny is it's got the rebuilt title. The damage when I bought it, it was probably $20,000 in damage.
So what happened to that car?
It hit the side of a guardrail or something like that, or he was at the track and he like tank slapped it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So like, you've got a car that in any world right now, if you did that same damage to this car now, it doesn't total it. Doesn't even come close to totaling it.
Yeah.
Back then, the values came down because it started at 75 grand, and then they weren't very popular, so the price went down on them. The car was only worth 35 or 40 grand when it was crashed. And now you've got a car that's worth 40 with 20 grand in damage. All right, it's totaled.
Yeah,
And it's the same thing with that Mercedes I got. It was totaled because of the front bumper. Like, that doesn't total a car. It just needs a front bumper and a hood.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that, yeah, exactly. It's an easy repair.
It still drives the same, still works as any other.
That's what's so weird about it. Imagine you could make it where a car isn't totaled unless the severity of the damage could affect the drivability. I think that's what a total should be. That's what it should be.
Like, frame damage.
But right now it's value. Like, a Ferrari, if it needs a new convertible top, can be totaled. Like, you're because that's $45,000 for a new top for a 360.
Yeah.
So the piece on the top broke. It needs a new top. All right, we're gonna total it out. Like, it just needs
BS.
It needs a piece. It's a perfectly good Ferrari. Like, just drive it with the top down if you have to.
Fair weather driving only.
But if you think about that, it's just like one of those things that I couldn't imagine being in that situation where something gets totaled out. But anyway, like, my point is the same. If you buy stuff and you buy stuff smart and you don't buy brand new stuff, if you don't buy, like, just buy.
But you don't wear any designer or any, like, nothing.
This is designer.
Oh, come on. What is it? Banana Republic or Old Navy? What is it? Banana Republic.
Banana Republic. This was at least like $25.
Like, only on sale. Like, that's when he buys stuff.
But everything's always on sale at Banana Republic. That's what's great about it.
Yeah.
These socks were 2 for $5.
Wow.
Maybe 2 for 10. Whatever it was. It was still not expensive.
Yeah. I'm all for shopping, like, bargains and deals. Like, I went to H&M. Yeah. These were like $5 socks. Yeah. I got a whole pack.
But then, like, this room was 40 grand. Yeah. So, like,
you save on all the shirts over the years.
Yeah, but like, I save on the shirts, but I've got like a car that we're sitting in and having drinks. So it's just like, my advice has always been the same, which is you save where you can so you can spend where you want.
Yeah.
If I say everywhere I go, I got this fancy house and this fancy whiskey room, I got to go buy the fanciest crap and I got to eat A5 Wagyu by the ounce. And like, it's like, that's stuff that it's ignorant. Like, you don't have to go out and be a hot shot because you're never going to accumulate wealth. You're always going to be spending just to prove to people that you have to, which is the most ignorant thing in the world. And that's just a common thing that we seem to deal with. And
yeah, that's just Americans, I guess.
But my advice to effectively start saving early and, like, create wealth, That's how you like go from where you are to like progress through the ranks and start getting money, taking that money, turning it into passive income streams. Instead, what do? You go out to the bar all the time and you're wasting all your money because you have it. Spending it because you have it and investing it because you're smart about it puts you in totally different positions. Yeah. And if 21-year-old you like looked at 30-year-old you and 30-year-old looked at 40-year-old you, you'd give yourself a lot of advice. Be like, you know what? Maybe going to those clubs and spending $500 every 4 days wasn't the smartest use of money. Maybe me buying a Corvette and tearing it apart and doing a brand new car wasn't the smartest use of money. But it's just like maybe me buying my apartment and losing over $300,000 on my apartment wasn't the smartest use of money. And there's all sorts of stuff that like I tell people now to lease instead of buy. Just go rent an apartment. Why would you buy an apartment? You don't know where you're going to be in 5 years. I mean, I bought an apartment with my like girlfriend that turned into my wife, and it was one of those things that, like, I knew that was going to happen, and there was no possibility of us living in a 1-bedroom apartment for the next 20 years. So why would I buy an apartment? We're going to be there for 5 years, 10 years, maybe. Like, just go rent it.
Well, it's just, I don't know. You think differently on that, and we've talked about this because I obviously am a real estate agent. Yes.
Kick it.
And I'm very, like, I want to buy an investment property this year. And that's my goal, is to get like a multifamily home. Now, not necessarily an apartment, like a 1-bedroom apartment that I'm going to use as investment. That's like under $300K like you did, or tried to use it as an investment. But I definitely think a passive income stream from a multifamily home is good. Because if I have 2 units in one house and I'm collecting, anywhere between like $1,300 or $2,000 for rent in each unit, I think that that's a good use of money. And I think that that's always going to be positive cash flow. No,
and you're talking an investment property.
Yes, but I think
that's very different.
Real estate is a good investment overall. Like
it is, but not if you're living there for a short term. Think about it this way.
But you just said you tried to rent it too.
I did rent it, and I still lost money on it. But imagine buying a place for $500,000. Right? It's a round number. You buy, and it's realistic. You buy a place for $500,000, and you're there for 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. You get a mortgage on it. You take $100,000, put it down. You have a mortgage on $400,000. You're now paying, what is a mortgage on $400,000? $2,000 a month?
I don't know. It depends on your taxes. It depends on the HOA.
You're paying $200,000 a month plus your HOA fees, plus if anything breaks. So just say you're at $3,000 a month. Mm-hmm. And of that money, you pay your mortgage down from $400 after 5 years. You probably pay your mortgage down from $400 to $360.
Yeah, I was gonna say like $3.
So those first 5 years, you've now paid off $40,000. You then sell your place. Like, congratulations, you've just sold your place for. Let's pick round numbers. I was going to say you made $10,000, but like, you've sold your place for $500,000. So you've effectively, in your head, you've lived there for free, right? But that's not true, because you've been spending. Let's do the math. You've been spending now $3,000 a month, which $3,000 a month is times 12.
Oh, you want me to multiply?
36.
Okay, 36.
You're spending $36,000 a year for 5 years. And $36,000 a year for 5 years is $180,000. So now you've spent $180,000, plus you've laid out $100,000, and you've sold the place for the same amount you paid for it, right? So just remember those two numbers. Now you've got to pay a real estate commission. Your real estate commission, 5%, easy $25,000 plus closing costs, bullshit. So you're out the door $35,000. So you're netting $465,000. You keeping up?
I might need to write it down, but I got it. Go ahead.
So you're netting $465,000. So it's cost you $35,000 to sell the place. And that's before your taxes. You got to pay taxes because you sold the place. It's stupid. Mm-hmm. But just say $40,000 total. So now you're at $40,000 for selling the place. Plus, so now you get all of your money. So of the $180,000 you've spent, you get $100 back. So it now costs you $120,000 in real money to buy a place and sell a place for the exact same, and that's interest. But and interest and HOA fees. You've now spent $120,000 over 5 years to be in the same place and sell it for the same amount of money. $120,000. So that's divided by 5. That's what, $24,000 a year? So that's $2,000 a month, which is what it would have cost you to rent the place.
Yeah, but like money.
But wait, it's what it would have cost you to rent the place, but you lost the ability to make money off your $100,000, which would be $150,000. So it's cost you another $50,000 in missed opportunity for that 5 years where your money would have appreciated. So now you've just spent what did I say? 120 now, $170,000 to live in this place for something that would have cost you a guaranteed $2,000 a month if you just rented it.
Okay, well, real estate's a good investment long term. Don't do 5 years.
But that's the whole point. People don't even, they just buy because they think they have to buy. And there's no reason for you to buy if you're only going to be there for 5 years. I know my friend Rachel, she lives up in Connecticut, weather girl on Fox 5. Rachel Frank, check her out. She's like best weather girl Northeast. She was in New York for a minute, but her husband lives up there and said like you have to stay up here in Connecticut. So they went back to Connecticut. But she was working in the New York market for a little bit. She did this process. She like bought houses. Like, oh, I just bought this great house in Connecticut because I'm going to be living in New York, and my husband grew up in Connecticut, so we'll like split the difference. And like they bought the house, gorgeous house. They're there for 2 years. Lost their shirt on it. Lost like $200,000 to move out of the house. And we're not even factoring in the risk of the house not being worth or you not getting what you paid for it. Buying it for $500, and we're talking best case scenario where you sell it 5 years later for the same money.
Yeah, you should be selling it for more. I mean, especially in the market here.
But right now, the market could be inflated. This market is so dumb right now. You've got people going in and like, I'm going to list my house, and I'm going to list it for, it's probably worth $400. I'm going to list it for $600. And see what happens.
Someone's coming in and buying it.
And then people come in and buy it with like, I'll waive the inspections. I'll give you $620. Okay, well think about it. Is everybody highest and best? So let's see who's got some offers over. So we got $620.
Yeah.
And this is not rational. That doesn't make that place now worth $640 or $650,000. It's still worth $400. It's just you have too many people fighting over it. And that's like going back to 2008 when everybody's like fighting over it because money was cheap and people were like, I can buy whatever. Because they're not going out. They're not cash buyers. These are people that are like, they're all rocking these loans for things that are worth more. So if the market... well,
not all of them. No, a lot of like situations that I'm seeing is they're waiving the mortgage and the appraisal and everything, and they're coming in with cash if it doesn't appraise. They're making up the difference in cash, and they're going like,
yeah, they're making up the difference if like it appraises if it appraises for $450 when you're selling it for $500, they're coming up with $50, but they're not.
Yeah,
nobody's
on top
coming
of
in
their 25%, 35% down payments.
Yeah, but like, you don't have billionaires coming in being like, give me that one, give me that one, give me that one. Here's cash for everything.
The one property that I lost out on with my buyers, 14 offers. We were dead last. We came in 40K over ask, and dead last of 14 offers, the home went $300K over. $300K over ask.
You want to sell this one?
Sure.
Like that means this house is going to sell for $3 million.
And it was in the suburbs. It was in the suburbs. It was a New York City buyer, beginning of the pandemic. Like this is...
If you can get $3 million for this place, I'll drag my wife out of here. She'll hate it, but I'll drag her out of here.
You're like, we got to go. We're building another one.
Yeah, I'll build another one. We'll live in an apartment. I'll live in a boat. I don't care. But for $3 million, this thing's gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, list it, see what happens. You can probably get a good number for it, especially now.
People are crazy. But the other house in town is one listed for 3.3, and they can't sell it.
Well, I know which one you're talking about, and I've seen that home. It's not. I don't know.
Didn't like it.
There's no wow. There's no wow factor about it. So people are looking.
It's got a movie theater and a gym.
Wow. Yeah. No. People are looking for something.
That wasn't very
different.
wow. So yeah, but I don't know. Like I just think this all spurred from me saying like we should invest early and turned into like investment properties. Turned into don't buy when you can rent.
Well, I'm renting and I'm going to buy while I'm renting.
Yeah, but you're going to buy a place that you can then rent out.
It's going to be
passive income. You're not going to live there. That's the thing to do.
Yeah, no.
And if you could think about it, I've always told people the best way to become rich is don't rely on one source. Don't rely on one job. Get multiple income streams. And like even if it's like everything starts out making $1,000 a month, you got 5 income streams at $1,000 a month. That's $5,000 a month. Mm-hmm. Then what if like what if one of them drops off to 0 and then the other 4 go up to 2? You're at $8,000 a month. What if all 5 of them go up to $5,000 a month? Now you're $25,000 a month.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Like, you don't think about stuff like that. And that's why, I mean, and I'm a perfect example. I could go full YouTube, but then I'd have to get rid of the rental company. Then I'd have to get rid of the travel company. But now what happens when the travel company comes in and makes a couple $100,000? The rental company makes a couple $100,000. I sell the rental company. I sell the travel company.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's like I went from a guy on YouTube who was making good money to like, wow, this guy has a yacht. And like, not that I would buy a yacht.
Yeah, you wouldn't buy a yacht.
But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but like at the end of the day, it's having that diversity, and especially the best way to make money is making money without having to work. So having these investment properties, having these portfolios, having money invested into companies, like stuff where you're like, wow, I'm getting dividends. I'm getting 10% a year on this $100,000. It's $10,000 a year without working. It's $1,000 a month almost. Now I'm getting $1,000 a month from this. I'm getting $5,000 a month from this. I'm getting $6,000 a month from this restaurant that I own 20% of. Like, you start adding these up, and even like with an investment property, it's something where you may not see any money for 15 years, but after 15 years, you go from having a mortgage to now owning the entire property and then making $5,000 a month off of it. And you think about that, you're like, oh wow, like I could, like, technically, and not different lifestyles, but like I could live off of $5,000 a month. And that's something that people can do. And then maybe your lifestyle changes. But you know what? You had more than one investment property, because after that one started going totally in the positive territory, you added the second one, you added the third one. Now you've got 5 investment properties turning over $50,000 a month, or $25,000 a month. You're making $300,000 a year without getting out of bed.
Yep. That's the goal.
Instead of rocking a bunch of Hermes belts and leasing a new Jaguar.
I guess, yeah. That's the goal. I'm going to, oh yeah. All right. And we're signing off.
All right. Thanks for watching. I'm just kidding.
But like, that's the goal. Like, I want to get
Japanese whiskey makes me smarter.
Wow. Look at that. I just want to get like the investment property. I want to buy the house, and then I'll focus on like getting a car.
You're so young to be doing this too. I'm not going to give you her age because she's much more mature than her age, but like, she's like, I can't, when she's rich and famous, I'm going to be like, I'm going to take credit for some of that. Even though it wasn't me, I want to take credit for some of it because it'll make me feel more accomplished.
I'll give you credit.
But
there's some credit.
Watching her do what I didn't do when I was younger makes me very happy.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I want to be smart about it. Like, yeah, of course, like I want to get a new car, and I don't want to like drive around the Mustang forever, but I can't buy a depreciating asset with no money coming in. I refuse. I won't do it.
But like, now you're in a position where like you need an everyday car.
Yeah, of course. I want to get like a everyday car.
But then you also like to have fun cars. But then you happen to know somebody who's like, yo, just take the keys of one of my fun cars instead of wasting your money on something else. And then you go take out the NSX, which she looks really good in an NSX, by the way.
Daily drive. No.
And yeah, but like, that's the whole thing. It's got 103,000 miles on it. Go enjoy it. Like, what's the worst thing you're going to do? You're going to bin the thing, and I'm going to get a check for $100,000 from my insurance company. Like, I'm okay with any of these as long as there's no injuries. But
me, I don't know. I don't think I should be in the car.
But at the end of the day, I mean, she's looking for now a new daily driver, and she's got, when you're finding a new daily driver, it's very important to find something that you can live with, right? Like my Mercedes I could live with because it's all-wheel drive. It had heated seats. The stuff that it didn't have that I wish it had, and I'm gonna do it again. I bought that out of an opportunity, not out of a desire. It was able to handle speed on the highway, so I can go do 100 miles an hour, and it's stable. It's like not gonna overheat. It's not gonna break.
Hood doesn't close. Trunk doesn't close.
I mean, all right, that's a result of me.
Lights don't turn off on the inside.
All right, so like I made some modifications that made it crappier, but we shot it up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I drove that car for $1,100 plus the $500 in the lights. I drove it for 4 years.
It's half of that.
4 years. So say I spent $2,000 on that car over 4 years and rode it down to zero because we shot it up in the desert. But $2,000 over 4 years is like $50 a month.
That's like nothing.
It's free. It's a free car.
That's
like $50 a month is what people pay to go to dinner once a month.
That's like a phone bill.
Not even, it's one dinner for one person.
Yeah, that's like me, getting myself breakfast.
Yeah. So, and like if I didn't shoot it up, I could have sold it and gotten my money back and it would have cost me $0.
But you didn't.
I didn't. We shot it up.
All this preach about being smart with your money and Here you are.
Well, no, you know, it was a dude's birthday. He wanted to shoot it up, and I'm in a position where I can say, yeah, go ahead. You want to shoot it up? Let's do it. And he paid to ship it out to Vegas, and we had a good time. So,
Nice.
like, at some certain point in time, the value is there too. But you didn't see my video, but my first Ferrari 360 was a coupe. And I kept it for 5 years. I put zero down, right? Borrowed every cent.
Okay.
Paid interest on it.
How do you do that?
You just go to PenFed. You go to PenFed, took out a loan for like 50 grand, bought it.
Where's my new car?
It needed a clutch, but I was paying like $1,300 a month to buy it. So I did a 4-year loan on it. After 5 years, I sold it. I did major services. I put new tires on it. I had to put brakes on it. I did everything. And it did cost me $1,200 or $1,300 a month, which is a barrier to entry because not everybody's got that lying around. When all the dust settled, when I sold it, all the maintenance, every dollar of interest, everything I spent on that car, what do you think it cost me per month for 5 years? To own a Ferrari for 5 years. And I put like...
I have no idea. I don't know what it costs to own a Ferrari.
I put, it's usually a lot, but I put like 16,000 miles on it, like 3,000 or 4,000 miles a year for 5 years. I put a new clutch in it. I did all the scary stuff. I did the major service.
I don't know. What was the number?
Make a number. Just do it per month.
Per month, just on maintenance and stuff?
Just for maintenance. We're talking interest too. I didn't put $1 down. I had to borrow all 50 grand.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know any
Throw a number just so we can say right or wrong.
Okay, so it costs you're saying you're paying $1,300 a month, like for the payment.
Yep.
Just the payment. So probably, I don't know, another like $700 on top of that, $1,000.
A month?
Yeah. I don't know.
That car, after 5 years, after I sold it and amortized all the costs, cost me $103 a month.
What? 103? I thought it was a Ferrari.
It was. But I bought it for 50. I sold it for 55 with 20,000 more miles. So I made $5,000 on the value of the car. This is where I say your car has depreciation and it has maintenance expense. And then obviously the interest expense if you have to borrow the money. And then insurance is standard across whatever car you're going to have. But those are the carrying costs of having a car. So your maintenance, your depreciation, and then your interest expense. So now you can start getting into the cost of the capital, what I could have done with that $1,200 a month, but I see value in driving a Ferrari and enjoying myself. So the associated cost with that, say $50,000 that I could have spent on putting it in the market or anything, you can't invest all your money. Like at the end of the day, you have to enjoy yourself at some point in time. So it's important to be able to drop some money into the market, drop some money into some secondary income streams, and drop some money into stuff that you enjoy. Whether it could be that Hermes belt that you buy once a year, it could be travel, it could be adventure drives, it could be renting cars from Rob Freddy, it could be buying real estate from Tiara Brianna.
It's me.
That's her.
I sell real estate.
She does. I would say look her up, but you probably already know who she is.
DM me. No.
The answer is you have to enjoy yourself. And when you start amortizing all of that stuff, it cost me $103 a month for 5 years to own my first personal Ferrari, which...
So should I go get a Ferrari right now?
You should.
Really? You're telling me I should?
I think I support that.
All right, we'll chit-chat tomorrow.
We could chit-chat, but it doesn't have to be a Ferrari. It could be any one of these cars. You identify
I'm
cars...
I'm like an R8.
Yeah, R8's a great car, an AMG GT, a Porsche Turbo, a GT3. I mean, I can give you a list of cars that are not going to go down in value that you can buy, drive,
I can't get a
sell.
GT3 right now. There's no way.
Why? I got to look at them. I think the market's up.
They are up.
But that's another car. I bought it for 78. I sold it for 86 after I put 15,000 miles on it. Same thing.
I don't know.
Why am I'm not a guru with cars. I just buy cars. If I went and bought a new 911 Carrera S, I would have lost $40,000.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what you buy, and you buy smart. You don't go out and buy a brand new S-Class and then be like, or lease a new Range Rover for $1,800 a month. You're going to bring that thing back, and it just now costs you $20,000 a year for 3 years. It costs you $60,000 to drive around a car you don't own.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And where does that get you? Well, I pulled up and is that the new Range Rover? Who gives a shit? And like a lot of people pretend like they're rich, and that's the problem. Like pretending like you're rich so other people think you're cool is not as cool as actually building wealth. And building wealth is harder and smarter. Pretending to be rich is more expensive, and you're in the same place or even a worse place than where you started.
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's like exhausting.
Thanks for checking out Rob Ferretti's financial advice. Like how this went from cars to financial advice, I don't know, and I apologize, but like
I don't know. It's all good advice. It's like things that some people need to hear. You know? I don't know. I'm trying to build wealth. I'm trying to be actually successful.
You are, and I don't know how, like you're well beyond, and maybe because you're just good at listening, you're going to be much more successful than a lot of people. Because I could give this advice. There's a lot of people listening that are taking this advice and be like, "Yeah, I'm totally going to do that," and they go home and then they go out and buy something stupid tomorrow. Instead, look, I totally need that. Like, look around your house. I mean, look around my house. Look at all this crap. Look at the freaking popcorn machine.
The popcorn machine.
Like legitimately a popcorn machine. These private decanters. Like you don't need any of this stuff. Like, and I get like there is zero value.
Yes, this whiskey lounge.
No, but the whiskey lounge,
gym,
like
sauna.
Honestly, have you ever been in a house that has something like this? You're in real estate.
No, not like this.
And like most
That's how
people,
I know this is BS.
Yeah, but most people would build like a wine cellar. This could be turned into a wine cellar relatively easily. But at the end of the day, just this this is commercial glass that I've got all around the house. I mean, there's $25,000 in like commercial paneling glass, and like commercial door handles. These things are never going to be grabbed like a commercial door handle. So like all this stuff that I put in, yes, it's for me, but somebody's going to walk in here and be like, I need this house. And
so let's list it.
No,
let's get you that $3 million.
I didn't even put up my freaking siding yet. I can't list this thing. And honestly,
it'll sell.
I'm sure it will. I'm happy here. Like when I built my garage and I built my pool and everything like that, and you're like lying out in the sun, you're like, I'm so happy you didn't sell it. And at the end of the day, like there is a value to, like having a nice, like making like my
like
home,
a home
feels
base.
like a resort. Like I work from home now, and it's like I used to work from the office even during a pandemic because I just wanted to get out of my apartment. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, I don't want to leave this place. I'm very like sitting in front of the fireplace every night and like falling asleep on the couch, like makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, you built this place. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of time.
I did build it. Like I'm working out virtually every day here. When the sauna and the steam room are up, I'm going to be in there every day. It's just like when my garage is out back, I'm going to be out there tinkering and like staring at my cars
breaking
and like
stuff and
yeah, just like it's this stuff. It's why you can't just save your whole life. A lot of people like to save their whole life, and it's a big common thing I've seen in the older generation, older than me, believe it or not. We're different generations, but there's an older generation that would go out and they're like, I'm going to work my butt off, and then when I hit retirement age, we're going to travel the world, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, you've got kids, then you start to have like this guilt that like, well, I want to leave stuff behind for my kids. Oh, you know what? Now we've got health issues, so we're not going to travel with the health issues. We want to be around our grandkids. We want to do this. We want to do that. And you've now gone your entire life like saving and doing and being afraid to now lose what you have to not enjoy life. You've missed all those years where you could be enjoying life. And I'm like, let's enjoy life. I'll figure it out later. Like I'll even if I work an extra 10 years, even I'm like, who knows? Like I could be hit by a tree tomorrow. Like you have no idea where life is going to take you. Like nobody's ever regretted living life. People only regret not living life. And you go to like this is like, I mean, this is asking too much from a lot of people, but go like volunteer in a nursing home and talk to people and ask them about their lives and what they regret and what they don't. And I guarantee all the regrets are always going to be the same. Like, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. I wish I did this. And it's too late at a certain point. It's too late. Like when you get cancer, it's too late when you're old and you're not going to enjoy the same thing. Just go out and enjoy yourself. And like, I took the slower path. Like I figured out a lot of stuff as I went along because I'm a problem solver. But like at the end of the day, I could have been much wealthier, much quicker if I took a more traditional path. But I think that sitting here in my whiskey room, I had a lot of fun getting here. And was it more stressful? Yes. Was it more erratic? Yes. Did I have a good time? Absolutely. Would I trade that? If I could reset and do this over again, would I take a different path? No. Would I have made certain decisions differently? Yes. But at the end of the day, I'm very happy with the path I chose. There's more to life than earning wealth quicker or earning wealth in greater quantities. But at the end of the day, like you get like there's people that live like religion teaches you to like live for the afterlife, live for your next life. You want to be the best person you can be. That's not me.
Look forward to like what's coming.
Like I deal with the guarantees. I'm guaranteed this moment that I'm in right now, so I'm going to make the best of that. And people love to like push off like I'm just going to get my enjoyment later. I'm going to suck it up now. I'm going to have a crappy life now. I'm going to restrict what I want to do, how I want to think, what I want to do because next life I'm going to kill it or I'm going to be somewhere like I'm going to be in a better like that's just not me. I can't
do that either.
I can't buy into that. And that's just one of those things that like, and I'm not trying to crap on your religions because I could talk about religion all day long and how much I don't believe in it. And it's tough to do that to people because people like believe it like there's no tomorrow. Like they believe they are so convinced that what they're hearing is right because it answers all the
unknowns.
It makes life easier. It's like a morphine for people. It's like, oh, well, this guy's telling me everything I need. Like I think life is tough, but like there's a plan. I just have to wait for that plan to reveal itself. And it's like, you've never gotten anything in life by sitting there and waiting for it to happen. It just doesn't happen. So to believe that if you just sit there and like be a good person or do this or do that life is just going to reward you for that, I just don't buy it. Like go out and earn what you want. Go out and enjoy yourself and don't worry about the ramifications of the next life that you don't even know exists. Like, worry about the ramifications of this life. If I do this, what's the result going to be? If the result is going to be you're going to have fun, it's going to hurt somebody, don't do it. If the result is going to be you're going to have fun and nobody's going to be hurt, go have a great time. And that's life. That's the Rob Ferretti advice to not have a crappy life is to go out there and enjoy yourself, enjoy the day. Like, what's the worst that happens if you're on a great road and you're like, oh, you know what? There may be a cop out here, so I'm not really going to go that fast. You know what? Why don't you go fast? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to get a speeding ticket? There's probably not going to be a cop.
Thrown in jail.
But like, if you go out and get a speeding ticket, you get to go out and thrown in jail. You're going to tell people that story for the rest of your life. But you're also going to enjoy the shit out of that road. And you're going to look back.
And then you're going to be in jail.
And you're going to tell everybody about that time you went out there and you enjoyed this road and you had such a great drive and it was one of the best experiences of your life. That's what you're going to look back on, not the fact that you like thought you may have gotten a speeding ticket so you drove the speed limit the whole time. Why don't you say something?
I don't even know what to say. I'm like completely speechless. I'm just sitting here like, how do I come into this conversation?
How does this dude just keep talking
like,
and
what?
talking and
like,
talking?
Who are you talking to? I don't even know how to talk to myself
Jesus Christ,
like this.
I'm talking to like younger me right now. I'm like
put the mic down.
legitimately lecturing myself. But how does that make you feel?
And that makes me feel like I need to enjoy my life. But like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
I think everybody should drink Japanese whiskey. It's really whimsical.
Honestly,
like,
whatever this is,
you need some of this. It's Yamazaki 12. Don't buy that. It's not cheap stuff, but it's really good.
You know, that's why it's life-changing because it's not cheap.
It's this is a Brandon bottle. Brandon brought me this bottle in the Hudson. The Hudson whiskey bottle back there the other day when we came back and tipped him back. You were supposed to come over, but you're like, I'm tired.
Well, yeah, I get tired.
You're allowed to be tired.
I get tired sometimes. I'm tired all week.
But we started tapping into these. He didn't like this. He liked the Hudson whiskey.
What? I like this a lot. I didn't have the Hudson whiskey though, but this one's really good.
You're still going.
I know. Well, I'm hanging out, listening to your life speech and drinking.
Everybody else is like, they're on their fourth drink listening to me like,
wow,
I love this guy. I'm like a freaking shaman
who
right
is
now.
This guy?
I'm like, I'm going to start selling T-shirts and open up my own, what do you call those, compounds.
Turn into like Gary V.
Texas. No, not Gary V. Like, I don't know. Like, I'd love to like have conversations with these guys that people look to as like life coaches and gurus because I'm like, I don't want to consider myself a life coach, but like I've started with nothing. I've created a whiskey room and that's
the
title of my book.
And he broke a Corvette.
Yeah, that's effectively like my book from start to finish. Like how I made a whiskey room and why.
How I made a whiskey roroom and blew up a Corvette out of nothing.
While having fun. How I made a whiskey room while having fun from nothing. And I mean, younger me, I mean, I couldn't even. When I was like 16, 17, working at a golf course, I was like, you know what?
Go on.
Why don't you talk? Why
No,
don't you
go
tell
on,
me
go
what I
on.
was thinking at 16 or 17?
Just go on. Please enlighten me.
I would have, and like the same thing, like I would have signed a contract that if somebody would have given me $100,000 a year for the rest of my life, I would have taken it that day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's you've made it at 100,000, 100 grand a year.
That's a lot of zeros.
Like that's like I could live off of that. I could live such a good, comfortable life. Jesus Christ, I couldn't even imagine making 100 grand a year.
Stop
Like,
stop right now.
I like you're limiting yourself. Why would you limit yourself? Like, and your goal set and your like, and I know what your goal set is for this year and you're going to hit it, but like, what are like your tastes change as you go. Like there was,
your lifestyle's always going to adapt to your income.
but like when you were 12, you would have like sold anything for that bicycle that you wanted, or for that like that like record player, or whatever it is that you wanted when you were 12.
How old do you think I was wanting a record
No,
player?
you have a record player now.
I do have a record player now. I like that record player.
You were a hipster when you were young, but like your goal set changes so much. Like you at 12 or whatever, at 18, you'd be like, look, if I could get that $225,000 apartment, I would sign up for that. I would live there for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. But now you're looking at a brick wall every day. When you're like, well, why would I still live here? Like I'm now much more successful than this. I've graduated past that phase of like contentness, and everybody tends to. Your goals are going to change. Like every time you like say that's the goal line, and then you cross it,
then
the goal line
you're
moves.
on to the next one. Yeah.
And
True.
that's why you can't set your goals too early. And do you ever reach a point that we're like, this is enough? Like I don't need any more than this. I mean, I'm pretty much sitting in it. I can't imagine 60-year-old Rob saying like, wow, I really wish I had a bigger house. I don't want a bigger house. I probably want a smaller house when I'm 60.
Mm-hmm.
And
not as many stairs.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps, but like I guess it'll keep me healthy. Maybe I would have regret not putting in an elevator or something like that when
that's what everyone's saying. The elevator right there would be perfect.
Like I mean, it's not too late. I could probably drop an elevator.
You're gonna need it.
No, I'm not gonna.
You're gonna need it.
I'm gonna get a hover round or something.
Come down the stairs.
No, at that point in time, I'll just move to a different place and let my kids sell this place. If I make it that far, I hope to make it to be old enough to need the chair thing.
The stairs. I don't even know
So
what they're
like
called.
you can come like take care of us.
Me?
Yeah, you're gonna be like,
I'm
you
gonna
know
be-
what?
I'm
I
gonna be
remember
busy.
that guy when he had the use of his legs. And actually, you're probably gonna lose the use of your legs before me. But
Stop. That's not funny.
so, can I? What can I share about you?
That's anything is fine. I mean, it's
right.
all real. It's all happening.
So this young lady right here has been in multiple car accidents and actually injured. Like
all right, like twice. That's
twice.
it.
That's multiple. Like singular is one, multiple
Yes.
is more than one.
But spaced out by like at least 3 years. Like
Yes, but she was also injured. So now, like, she's going through the legal process because, like, dealing with insurance companies and everything like that, you have to then effectively, like, we see you were smiling on July 3rd, 1990.
You're not in
and,
pain.
Like, you're clearly not in pain. Look at that smile. And that's where I like with these like settlement offers and everything. That's where I can't wait, and I can't wait for her lawyer. Like, I don't like lawyers. Let me just say, I don't care what side they're on. I don't like lawyers because they think they're smarter than they are, and they're usually just assholes.
my lawyer's nice.
They could be nice, but they're also assholes because lawyers only care about making money. They care about having people which allow them to make money. So like, oh my God, that's such a terrible story. All you care about is making money. You're looking at me as dollar signs right now. You're not looking at me as like anyone that you give a crap
when they're like,
about.
oh, I'm so sorry. Like, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, they don't give a shit how you're
I'm
feeling.
like, all right, come on. Let's wrap it up here.
Lawyers are snakes. They're terrible people. They defend good people. They defend bad people. Like if the legal system worked the way it should be, everybody should be out in the interest of justice. I get everybody's entitled to their day in court, but at the end of the day, like if you've done something wrong, the whole purpose of the system is that you've done something wrong. You should be treated equally and not like, well, that guy's rich, so he's going to get off, and that guy's not rich, so he's going to go to jail.
Yeah.
That's the Ben Chen. Remember him?
I know. I knew what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Ben Chen's a piece of shit.
Oh my gosh.
Was that too direct?
That was very direct. I wasn't expecting that. They were talking about my lawsuit.
No, I'm sorry. We're going to talk about our lawsuits. But there was a guy, and I'm not going to bring it up, but anyway.
Next.
Like at the end of the day, you shouldn't be able to buy your way out of stuff. Like if you're, especially like if there's an opportunity for you to say like, well, there's a deniability, there's a plausible deniability. But if there's like, all right, that guy stole money, but it was the accountant who should have caught, like legit. Like I know a guy who stole $9 million. And then he was like, well, it's not my fault. The CFO signed off on it, so blame him. But you stole the money. You went to this guy and you said, these are legit. And the guy signed off on them because you said they were legit. And now you're like, blame that guy. That guy belongs in jail. There is like, to scapegoat. And I'm not going to talk about other stories where people are scapegoating and doing stuff like that. But like, that's astonishing to me. Or to like have people do things that are wrong and be like, well,
This happens all the time.
according to this obscure law from 1783, technically, like, yeah, I mean, yes, he did. It's the same thing. Imagine like somebody breaks into your house, they fall through the skylight while they're breaking into your house, and they hurt themselves in your table, and they sue
They
you.
could sue you.
That's absurd to me. Like, why is this guy who just broke into my house getting a $200,000 check from my insurance company for breaking into my house? The guy should be shot in the street. Like, he could have been coming in to like rape and kill my family.
Yeah.
And instead, the
Now
guy's
he's, like,
getting a
walking away
check
with a check.
because he's crippled from falling through my skylight.
These are like real things. Yeah.
If you are a lawyer, fuck you.
You were going to be an attorney.
And then I decided not to be an attorney because I like when you went to college and you started studying for like law school, like the first semesters, I was like, oh, here's this. I'm like, oh, this is really easy. Like clearly that guy's right, that guy's wrong. And I'm like, this is the easiest shit in this second semester. Oh, that guy's right. No, that guy won because of this. I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. And
Wait a second.
that's when I was
Where's
like,
the logic?
as a lawyer, you have to defend guilty people. And I'm like, I don't really want to be a lawyer anymore. And so bringing this all back, she's now dealing with lawyers for her injury claims. And she's actually a broken human being.
Thanks.
She's a phenomenal human being, but also very broken physically. And I can't wait and I'm hoping they get me in there.
I hope you can too.
Because I've done, I'm like, some people get very, and it's an intimidating place to be. Like a courtroom is very intimidating.
I don't like it. Even if I'm like,
even anything involving a judge or like this
anything.
is on the record. Like everybody starts to like sweat. I go in there. I'm like, all right, bitches, let's get this.
let's
get this
wrap
done.
this up here.
All right, so you're a lawyer, so now you think you're smart. Let's go have a good time with this. And I've been hired for like expert testimony in the past, and I got to tell this story. You're gonna be annoyed by it, but like.
I heard it like 5 times today.
There's a judge, and I forget the judge's name, but there was a judge in Long Island who's been sitting on the bench for a long time, who was just like gobsmacked, like jaw on the floor, be like, "You are the best expert witness I've ever heard in my 20 some odd years of sitting on a bench." And I was like, this guy listens to like 8 cases a day, 4 days a week for 20 years. Like, how can I be that memorable? Like, all I did, but like, then I think about the prosecutor, like trying to come at me and like, and this is what they do. Like, they try to get you to trip up, and people always trip up and like, oh, let me clarify that. Let me do like, and cause
let me fact check it real quick.
The only thing to do for an expert is to try to discount the expert by making what they say invalid. Like, oh, you said that was going to be 12, but now you're saying that was 10. Was it 10 or 12? Because you said 12, now you're saying 10. Well, it could be somewhere in between 10 and 12. So how can you be an expert if you're telling me it's 12? Now you're telling me it could be 10, but now it could be somewhere in between. Like, I'm not really convinced that your opinion is valid. And this guy tried to trip me up, and he's like, "You said this." I'm like, "No, I didn't. Go back to the record. Can you repeat that?" Yeah, that's what he said. All right. And like, I literally, like, I just knew my shit. And like, I wouldn't have taken a role as an expert witness had I not known my shit. Because now I'm just making stuff up. And I'm like very excited to go in and help my friend here in her court cases, because to say somebody's not injured because they were smiling at one point in time, while they were injured.
Like pulled up an old photo. You don't look hurt here.
Yeah, look, this is her photo.
Like,
this is one photo where she's smiling. I'm like, I have seen this girl in multiple stages of like, I wish I could do something. And this is more often than not. Like, she has very bad back pain, and she's probably going to need spinal surgery. So, and when I say probably, she's going to need spinal surgery. So, like, to have that at a young age because of something, and then somebody try to discount that, that's like nice Rob goes out the window. Like, and that's where smart Rob comes in and just shits all over you. And that's where, like, it's, I don't have patience for that. And that, like, this is the whole thing where I hate shitty lawyers, but it's somebody's job to come in there and try to tell me that I'm wrong when I'm not. And that's a really bad position to try to be in, because that's where, like, New York Rob comes out, and not in a rude way, but in a, like, you're going to feel very small in the next 20 minutes. So you tread very carefully. And I'm going to make sure that she gets at least what she's entitled to or what she deserves to try to make this right. I assure you, anyone who's ever been injured would trade that injury for any amount of money. They would rather not be injured. They don't want to be injured. Yeah. This is not something that they sign up for. But at the end of the day, they also don't want some asshole coming in saying you're not injured because you were smiling last year.
That shit annoys me so much.
And that's where... and I hope they play this podcast in the fucking.
Oh my gosh, we should have them play it,
because I will happily tip a glass of Yamazaki while I'm in there and continue on this rant and make people regret the fact that they even went to law school. So, so that's fun. That's going to be a good time.
I hope they can get you in
did
there.
You hear Mercedes is coming out with new electric sedan?
Good note.
Yeah, like we've been doing this for what, like 55 minutes?
Oh my God, how long are we on here for?
Let's talk about cars for a minute.
All right, so this is the Mercedes, what is it, the EQS or something like that?
So the Mercedes EQS, this is going to be such a dick punch to, like, anyone who would ever buy a Tesla Model S, because this is like, if you've ever gotten into a Tesla, it's like, oh, cool.
It's like kind of pretty plain, yeah.
But to then get into, like, an S-Class, be like, I wish this was electric. Now you're going to get the best of both worlds. Now you're going to be like, I'm in luxury and it's electric. I'm loving life. And the fact of the fully loaded Model S is like 160, and you can get, like, a Mercedes.
This
a
one
Mercedes
for like 110.
That blows it away, right? Like, you're talking about, like, I don't know any models, but, like, getting Giselle Bündchen, is that her name? Bündchen?
But like Bündchen,
getting Giselle versus getting Rosie O'Donnell for the same money. There's going to be a long line on one of those sides, and the sale of Rosie's is going to go down significantly. So, and it's not that Tesla's relying on the Model S, but their entire luxury segment is about to get a giant fucking shit taken on it.
Yeah, because that Model S is their, like, luxury, but it still looks the same as the Model 3, except the body. Else. It's just the body. It's just sleeker. Yeah, it looks a little bit better, but the interior is the same plain dash. You look at this new Mercedes, you're going to have, like, every luxury feature inside that any other Mercedes has, and it starts at, like, 110,000.
Yeah, and even if it models out to, or whatever, options out to 150, it's still the same as the Tesla, but it's a significantly better car. I mean, you're talking, like, scent diffusers coming through. Like, my S-Class is like, wow, this is really like a spa on wheels.
Yeah. Massaging seats. I don't think Tesla has that, does it?
No, but, like, we have, like, massaging. My S-Class is like massaging seats, scent diffusers, like chromotherapy.
Do you have to replace those, like, every once in a while, like the scent diffusers?
Is that
like a maintenance item?
It is. You have to replace the cartridges. It's got, like, reclining rear seats. It's got the works.
Yeah.
And Mercedes has stepped in. Like, it's tough to justify a Rolls Royce or, like, a Bentley after you drive, like, an S-Class Mercedes.
I like the S-Class.
Yeah, but the S-Class is phenomenal. It's actually for my daily. I was actually looking at like a 2010 S-Class.
That's like a
because I remember when we got those. But I remember when we got those, like, wow, this is a really nice car. But now you can get them for like $15,000. It was like it was like
15?
it was like $120,000 car. They depreciate like bricks.
Well, Mercedes, yeah, they depreciate like crazy.
But and the reason I wouldn't get it is probably the gas mileage. I'm probably gonna order a Tesla.
You are?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna get a Audi or something.
No, I'm gonna get a cheap Tesla, like one of the $40,000 Teslas, and I'll get because they hold their value well.
They do.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna get like an Audi A4, so I'll get both.
Should you wait until this Mercedes comes out to see how well Tesla
No,
does?
what are you kidding me? You think I'm gonna spend the money on?
No, I'm not saying get the Mercedes. I'm saying your Tesla might depreciate.
No. The thing is, I'm going after the cheap Tesla, the peasant Tesla.
Oh, the one that has like the weird
$38,000. No,
the S-Class?
the basic Tesla,
or the Model 3 when it first came out.
the Model 3, like
Because I know when the S first came out, they look a little bit weird. They look like Genesis.
Which ones?
They look a Genesis.
Which car?
The Tesla
Model S.
Model
No,
S.
I wouldn't get that. I would get the cheapest zero option,
like nothing. Just it's electric.
Golf cart electric Tesla. Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that?
Nothing. It's just something to drive. That it's legitimately an everyday car.
All right. And then your Audi would be just there or whatever. It would be.
The Audi is just a secondary car, but the Audi is the car I buy for $5,000, and then I sell it for $5,000 when I'm done with it.
Okay.
So I'll buy one with 70,000 miles on it and do what I did with my Mercedes. So I'll
Blow it up?
I mean, technically yes. I'll buy it for $5,000. I'll put 70,000 miles on it. And I'll sell it for $3,000. After 70,000 miles, you know how long it takes me to put 70,000 miles on something?
It's a long time.
So like I can't even my ramp truck doesn't see mileage like that, and it goes on like road trips to bring my car to the racetrack.
Yeah.
So speaking of, Doug was texting me today about my car, asking me questions about injectors and everything. Oh, Jared, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, you want to get your car done soon. We have a couple weeks or a week. Let's see. We have like about a week till is it going to the track next week?
What's that? My Corvette? No, my Corvette's going to get a 427 engine. We're going to switch it over. Doug said he'll figure it out. I don't even have to read the rest of that because that means he's on top of it. I trust Doug. Doug's going to take care of it, and we'll take care of that. Doug's bringing his daughter on adventure drives, which is going to be fun.
I'm so excited for that.
So Doug usually brings his wife. Now he's bringing his daughter, and it's cool. Like to have a trip that you can bring your wife and your kids on, and it just I can't even. I'm so happy we came up with this company, or I came up with the company.
It was you.
But like, it's just like it's such a good group of people that. Like all of these rallies, like a lot of these rallies, what are you going to bring your wife on a place where the guys are doing coke off a hooker's ass in the bathroom? Like you can't do that. That's like, that's the appeal to like these pound your chest, like dress like a fucking chicken, like stickers all over the car. Yeah. Cause you know why? Because people look at the guy dressed like a chicken. And that's why, the guy dressed like a chicken. Now that guy's fun. We like that guy. But that's like the appeal of these certain rallies. Like they appeal to the party aspect of people. And I would never bring like my family on that. I would never bring people I like on that. I'd bring like my college buddy. I'd bring like a fun friend. I'd bring some freaking random hooker. But I wouldn't bring like my wife. I wouldn't bring like my kids on. Imagine bringing my son on something like that, and you'd never do it. Like, oh, don't look at that guy. He's snorting a line of coke.
Yeah, no,
like
not family friendly.
So, like to have something where people feel comfortable, and we're not talking like regular people. We're talking like I was sitting at a table once, and I was like, oh, like and like I'm not a money guy, but I'm like $100 million, $100 million. Like these guys, like I'm the only person at the table that's got less than $100 million. I mean, I have significantly less than 100. This is my entire net worth is this room. But like,
yeah, that's it. This is it.
This barrel is worth more than my like.
See this bottle? What is this bottle? You said?
I don't know. It's half full now. See the optimism, half full, not half empty. But at the end of the day, like I'm like, we don't attract crappy people. We attract like very wealthy and even people that aren't so wealthy, but like just a good caliber of person. And that person, the reason I bring up the wealth wise, when you've got or you're worth over $100 million, you could go on whatever freaking trip you want. I don't care what you're like. You can literally go anywhere any time in the world.
Do anything, yeah.
You could fly a private jet anywhere you want in the world.
Here they are.
On a moment's notice. And here I'm surrounded by a table of them. And just by chance, it's not like I collected the table. It's not like they gravitate to each other. I'm just like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's just a testament to the trip, the fact. And even Doug was like he was not going to come on the trip. He's like, I'm going to come. My wife can't come, but I'm going to come and bring my daughter. And I'm like, that's just so cool. Like that you get to come out and you like, it's like one of those. It's a once in a lifetime trip that you do multiple times a year if you think about it. And
it is. It really is.
I'm gonna highlight right now how lucky you are to be in that situation, because like you paid to go on the last trip.
Yeah, I took my dad on the July one.
That was very cool.
He was so.
It was that like best daughter ever, right? Like imagine as a dad, I could never be happier than if my kid did something like that for me, and I got an experience that my kid paid for. That would be essentially epic like that. And it's just like...
Yeah. Had to do it. It was his birthday. I was like, Dad,
but even
you don't go.
So,
like, come on.
At your age, to bring your father on something like that was... that I've never received a gift like that from anyone in my life.
Oh, I'll take you on adventure drives.
Are you going to take me on my own trip? Thanks. I'll come up with a list of other things that you could take me on that would be equivalent.
But he deserves it. Like he deserves it. He's like the reason why, like who I am.
It's appreciation. It's but it's again, you're a good person. I'm glad you did that for him. It was quite the treat. He had a great time. I remember that.
Oh my God, yeah.
I got some great photos of the two of you guys together. And those are like, and that's the thing. That's that whole like living life. You're never going to be able to replicate those. Like you're never going to be like, well, if Dad, I gave you a savings bond that you can cash in 10 years. Like that means nothing. Like your dad will take that week to his grave.
He talks about it so much still. Like he tells everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody at work. He's like, adventure drives. They're doing this now. They're going here. Like you guys should go. You should do this. Like he talks about it all the time.
But I mean, we're doing great trips this year. We've got the trip coming up in like a week, which is DC to Nashville.
Yeah, in a week.
I'm just thinking about when this is posting, but it's coming up legitimately in the week.
Yeah.
It's like April 28th to May 2nd. It's a Wednesday to Sunday, going from DC to Nashville. Then we're going to Paris and Barcelona. We're doing Saint-Tropez. We're doing Geneva. We're doing San Sebastian. We're doing Le Mans.
Excited for that.
That's going to be in August. It's going to be the last day of July. It's like July 30th or something like that to August 8th. I don't know the exact dates. She does. You can email her, Tiara at adventuredrives.com. And then we're going to Scotland in October, which we keep pushing off this Scotland trip. I forget where it is even in the world, but I'm really excited for Scotland. And then we're going back to Iceland in the winter in February. So that's going to be that's a hell of a
February
travel schedule.
trip?
Yeah.
Oh, it seems interesting.
Off-roading in Iceland?
I don't know if I could. I mean, we'll see.
You're going to come. You're going to even if you come and just hang out.
Sit on the sidelines. I'll be a cheerleader.
You got quite the job. If only you got paid, this would be the best job ever.
That'd be crazy. Imagine making a paycheck and doing this.
Instead, she comes, she hangs out. She has a good time, and she makes some great memories. So
of course, the memories last a lifetime. Can't put a value on it.
They do.
You cannot.
They do, and we have a great time. But if you guys are interested, check out. Just shoot her an email. TR at Sword. Not Sorted or not. Whoa, that's completely different company.
Different company.
TR at adventuredrives.com. But I think we had a great time talking tonight. I think did we cover anything?
We're doing a giveaway, but I guess we can go over that on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah, we'll Instagram and YouTube that. But we're gonna give away half a spot for the trip. So if you get lucky and you want to buy some merch, guess what? You may be out there enjoying us. And there's been a pretty epic selection of people that have made it out.
Good winners in the past 2.
The European trip, I remember the 2 guys were great.
I wasn't there, but yeah.
The one guy from Estonia, Preet, I'll never forget him. And then there was another guy, Braxton, he's from Canada, Alberta, Canada, right outside of Banff, Banff is I think Banff is your birthday this year. If we can travel into Canada, I know you want to buy a watch, but I think Banff is pretty cool.
I think I'm just gonna sit at home. No.
So if you guys want to come out to all of those are great. If you want a chance to come out to the trip, you don't have the money to spend on the trip, this is probably the most economical trip, the DC to Nashville. You can get on for a half spot for like $2,600 or something like that. So very reasonable for a week long or whatever, like a Wednesday to Sunday. We're like starting at the Mandarin Oriental. Like we're staying at like nice hotels, the Greenbrier in West Virginia, driving some epic roads. So if you think that sounds cool, check it out, adventuredrives.com. If you want real estate, there's only one person to talk to in this area as far as I'm concerned, and it's the girl sitting right next to me.
And it's I thought you were going to say somebody else.
Nope, Tiara Brianna. Can't even fake that one. She's the person to go to if you want real estate in the New York tri-state area. She'll help you out. If you need real estate somewhere else, reach out to her. She knows how to vet these people and tell you who to go to and who's the guy who's going to take care of you or girl who's going to take care of you so that you get treated right. Real estate sort of sucks because everybody can get into real estate, but you want to get the good people that are going to take care of you and see you through the process. As far as Adventure Drives, you know how to find it at adventuredrives.com. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thanks, Samantha, for watching, because Samantha's sitting there watching, being like, I wish I saw this live so I could ask some questions.
Is it live right now?
No, it's not.
Oh.
She couldn't, but I feel like she needs a shout-out because she watches every single episode.
Oh my God, I love Sam.
And Sam gets a big high five from the two of us. So thank you guys for watching. Congratulations to Hideki Matsuyama, who won the Masters again, and he is the reason we're drinking Yamazaki tonight instead of the Whistle Pig. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. We will catch you next time. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Tiara, for joining me, and we'll see you next time. You got it.